So they would tell us how they were able to prepare a great pitch and how they were also able
minimum 90%, mate. 5%, 10.
How they were able to position their businesses for funding as well. So the Lagos Agrithon, and lastly, we have the Lagos Agrinnovation Summit, which is a fulcrum of all the activities that we do during or in the course of the year, which is where we have investors, collaborators, agripreneurs, every agric enthusiast come together in one space under one roof. And then we discuss food systems in Lagos. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and then introduce the panelists, but I'll let them introduce their name, their business, what their business does, and really how their business is positioned to solve what problem their business is positioned to solve within the food systems in 1 minute. Our panelists, I'll start with Akin Alabi. Please shoot.
All right. Thank you very much, Fumi. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible enough, please?
Yes, please. We can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Akin Alabi. Would you mind me on my camera, or is there no need?
Oh, yes, please. I think everyone would like to see the great Akin Alabi.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure so that whether it's part of the rules, though. Okay. Hi, guys. So my name is Akin Alabi. I'm founder and also CEO of Corporate Farmers International, an agribusiness based in Lagos. What we do basically is around farm management services, agri-media services, marketing, consulting. We also build agricultural technology startups within the entire value chain ecosystem. Also, we have platforms around campuses for capacity building. We're also into trainings of young agripreneurs. In fact, we've touched a bit of the entire ecosystem bit by bit, and we are so much inclined in ensuring that we work to help and also add value to the Lagos state food systems in our own little capacity. And it's also a privilege for me personally to be part of this beautiful initiative that has helped transform our business, transform our ideology about food in Lagos beyond agriculture, and also help us to see a better Lagos that is transformative around food systems from production to processing, aggregation, and I'm so super grateful to the entire team of Lagos Agric, Fumi, who is leading that campaign or leading that particular team for Agrinnovation Club, and also to the Honorable Commissioner, Ms. Abisola Olusoya, for driving the entire ecosystem of Lagos Agric and also initiative around it. So that's just me, and I'm super glad to be part of this conversation for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Akin Alabi. That was a good introduction. So very quickly, we'll move on to Luther Lawonye.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me. My name is Luther Lawonye, and I'm CEO at PricePally.com. And PricePally basically enables families and businesses access farm fresh food items sourced directly from farmers, wholesalers, and brands. And yeah, I'm very grateful to be on this platform. We've been part of the club for a couple of years now, and it's been really impactful on the business and even on our growth. And yeah, I'd like to thank the organizers, and I'm here to share my knowledge about pitching, and hopefully I'm able to give you some good tips. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luther. And then we'll move on to Balikis Salaudin.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're joining from. I'm just going to have my video on in a minute, but just permit me to do the introduction of the camera. All right, so my name is Baki Salaudin Ibrahim. I'm the CEO, co-founder, Green Republic Farms. And we were privileged through hard work and commitment to have been part of the winners of the first edition of the Lagos Agrithon. And so far, it has really transformed and enhanced our business approach and network. What we do at Green Republic Farm majorly is we leverage high technology and innovation to cultivate high quality horticultural produce such as habaneros, bell peppers, tomatoes, whatever you can think of, and we're able to supply markets in Lagos State. So it's been us really trying effort to farm closer to the market to ensure that the Lagos people have access to quality and healthy food. And that is what we have been pushing. And I'm really excited to share some tips and knowledge of how to, probably get an A. I don't know, but I'm really rooting for everybody on this call that is going to be applying for the Agriton. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Balikis. And I would really encourage everyone to squeeze all our panelists for today. Get as much knowledge as you can from each of them. They were absolutely all outstanding last year. Little wonder they all got good amounts from the funding. So very quickly, I'll move on to Jacob Abiodun.
Hi everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Very clearly, Jacob.
You can hear me clearly. Awesome. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacob Oluwayomife Abiodun, and I'm the founder and CEO of Coconuto Enterprise. And what we basically do is we provide solution of technologies that help farmers to dehusk coconuts, processors to the shell, and our sustainable solution is to carry the waste in this value chain to produce into valuable product like cocoa pits that help soilless farmers, hydroponics, briquette charcoal that you can use in your homes. You can also use is an alternative to the traditional charcoal of using wood. So we are trying to mitigate the use of wood, and even our fiber, we produce cocoa pods, which is another alternative to plastic use on the farm. So that's basically what we do at Coconuto. And on this call, I intend to, pass proper message on how you can become one of the successful winners like we on the panelists at the Agrithon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jacob. I really must say that Jacob is a definition of relentless. It didn't stop pushing, even though there was he had a little bit of glitch during the Agrithon last year, but he didn't stop giving it his best, right? So I'll move on to the questions, right? And I'll start with Balikis. So Balikis, please tell us, what was the single most important thing you focused on when you were preparing your winning pitch?
Okay, that's a very important question. I think one of the things that we focused on at Green Public Farm when we were developing our pitch was telling our story. Really, we're telling our story just the way it was. And one of the things that helped us was, sorry for me, can you give me like a minute? Sorry.
Okay, so
Sorry.
no problem. So I'll move on to Luther. So Balikis has a baby. She just delivered, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? So I know that she quickly has to attend. So I'll move on to Luther. Luther, please tell us, what do you consider the key pointers or ingredients that make a pitch stand out to judges and funders? I know you've won quite a number of grants.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think the first thing for me is clarity, right? So if you're able to tell somebody who wants to part away with their money a clear and succinct story that doesn't require, the faster you get to their thinking, the better it is for you. So an investor needs to be convinced to part away with money. And we all know how hard it is to part away with money. Even your own money is, someone would have to drill you. So part of how you can get that to pass that across to an investor is to be clear. You should be able to say what you do in like one sentence. Another thing is the problem you are solving. You have to be able to let us feel the urgency why this thing needs to be solved now. And on the other end of that solution, what is the gain for the investor? Every investor is investing to make money back. There are some who just want you to show the impact, but either way, you need to be able to show the urgency of the problem and the other side of the opportunity that problem, presents. Another thing could be the unique edge that you have. If you are able to demonstrate what you know, what you have, or the systems that you built that other people don't have, that's something that would also draw, an investor to you in terms of wanting to know more, wanting to put money in your business. Then be clear on how you make money, and how you are going to grow your revenue. So strong business model, strong capacity to be able to keep and, help people increase their money, because an investor is giving you a certain amount so that in the future they can get a lot more than they've given you. So that's also one important thing. Then one other thing I hear often a lot, which I personally also struggle with and I'm trying to improve on, is storytelling. And you can tell, people talk well and are able to engage people, sometimes can talk you to parting away with your money without even you knowing it. So it's a very powerful thing that we all need, as entrepreneurs, need to be able to practice, dedicate time for. As you tell your story, your conviction, comes through to the person listening. So that's something. The last thing I would add is traction, or proof, things that you've done before, even if it's you've sold to a customer, you have 2 customers, you have 5 customers. It's traction. It's something to prove that this thing can work, and how you compound on that as you, try to build your business is also very important. Everything I've said now also boils down to the how much you are involved in your business so that you can tell the story of your business. If you work at it every day and all that, it becomes a part of you. It becomes how you can talk to anybody and they will listen to you because it's your experience. You're not forming stories. So, yeah, that's what I would say, key pointers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Luther. So very quickly, I will be back. I'm back to Balikis. So my question was, what was the most important thing you focused on when preparing your winning pitch?
Yes, thank you so much for me, and apologies, everyone. Yes, so as I was saying earlier, one thing that we focused on really was storytelling. And the reason is because you don't want to stand in front of diverse individuals who are knowledgeable about your industry, and you're saying the same thing as what other people are going to be saying. It is not possible. You have to already carve your own niche. Everybody on this call can be farming bell peppers. Everybody on this call can be farming. Sissy, do you want to mute your mic, please? Thank you. Everybody can be doing a vegetable farming as I am also doing it. But our story is different. How we're doing it is different. So that story is one thing that over time, since we started Green Republic Farms, we have been mastering that skill. And because also I've been able to leverage my own personal skill in communications, that's helped us to have the right way to talk to investors, potential founders, judges and whatnot. So having those stories is very important. Then number 2 is not telling false story. You don't want your story to be false. You don't want to lie. You don't want to say that you are producing 10 tons of habaneros every month when you have not even been able to produce 500 kg. It is good to tell stories of impact to show founders that, yes, your business has potential, but you have to make sure that you're telling the right story. And you have to make sure that your information you're putting out there, it is not false. Because by the time of verification, it would be out there, it would be seen. Then the third thing that helped us in terms of still on storytelling is our digital footprint. right? So it is very easy for you to go to our social media platform, for example, now and see when we built our first set of greenhouses. So you can monitor the growth from our controlled environment open field to how we're transitioning into greenhouse to how we have our renewable energy solar power system, because we are passionate about storytelling. We are putting these stories one at a time on our digital footprint. So you don't necessarily need to visit Green Republic farms to actually know what is going on, right? I mean, there will be times when we would not be posting all the content, but you can be rest assured that at every phase of the farm, you will see an update on social media. So that by the time founders that are even abroad are not able to travel down to the village where our farm is in a Lokuta village, they can easily leverage our social media. And you can see that these images, these videos, these people that we're working with, they are not AI generated. They are real life, people. This is a real life activity that is going on here. So storytelling is one thing that if you're able to carve it out very, very well, forget your slide. People would be looking at you. That is the point. And let me just say this, just in case we don't come back to this question, is documenting your progress through photography. It is very, very, very important. This picture that you're seeing on my video background, this picture was taken from my farm on our habanero plantation. This picture alone, if I put it on the screen in front of founders, even before I start to talk, they would have questions already. They would be curious. They would be like, oh, this is massive. Where is this place? What are you doing? And then I'm not showing them another picture of probably there's a challenge we're facing at the farm or something. Oh, they see that, oh, what happened to this product? What happened to this? What's going on here? Because the image is already telling stories on its own, even before you start to narrate your story. So having high quality, when I say high quality, I don't mean that all of you here on this call, many people have big, big phones, gadgets. You don't necessarily have to hire a camera person, even though we have that on our team. We have like our content creation team, right? Which is dedicated to capturing every moment, both good and bad. So that by the time we are meeting founders, they can relate to our story, not just the words of our mouth. So I think I don't want to take so much time for me over.
Thank you, Balikis. You've said a lot in one question. I'm sure you've answered like 5 questions already in one. And thank you so much, Balikis. So I'll move on to Aki Alabi. And your first question, what inspired you to apply for the Lagos Agrithon, and what was your motivation at every point in that journey?
Okay, thank you very much, Fumi. So what motivated us as an entire team to apply was because for us, anything Lagos, we're always super interested in it, from the onset. Lagos in general, the entire story of Lagos, from the food systems to the technology part of it, to the storytelling part of it, Lagos entirely has been so inspiring to us. So what made us, apply at the initial level was because we needed to find a channel that could help us add more value and do what we do best at corporate farmers. And I'm super glad when Balikis was emphasizing on storytelling, which is one of the things that we really do big time at Corporate Farmers Media. We are very huge in storytelling for our clients, for corporate services, individuals, and organizations. That's one of the things that we do and we don't joke with. So that is what motivated us, just to see how we could also, get that fund to add more value to what Lagos State is doing in general. And also looking at what the ministry or the commissioner has done over the years, around the entire cultural ecosystem and bringing such innovation, first of its kind, to inspire young agripreneurs, which is rather uncommon, you see today in Nigeria. So that was again an opportunity or a window that we felt that we could quickly tap in. And I remember then last year when the link came out, and I always say this a lot, I said, look, most of us or most youths don't kind of believe when they see initiative like this from government. And they kind of doubt it. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, it's going to work. Oh, it's just for them. But give it a try. You never can tell where your big break is going to come from. And when it happened last year, people were so shocked, were surprised, like, oh, it happened. Oh, it didn't happen. I said, I told you, apply. You didn't apply. I thought it's a lie. But when it happened, and I can imagine this year, the level of people that were rushing, that were calling, sending me DMs, I can send me the link, want a part of it. So that bringing it together shows that Lagos is quite intentional about the growth of food systems and also ensuring that our youth who are interested in building their cultural sector find some level of capital that they could start up with as grants, that would also help them upskill and be a better entrepreneurs for themselves. So that was what actually motivated us, and we're super glad that Lagos is doing this at this critical time.
Thank you very much, Aki Alabi. Just to quickly buttress one of the points you made. So I heard something 2 weeks ago at an event. The speaker said, the most beautiful girl in Nigeria is not necessarily the most beautiful girl in Nigeria. She's just the most beautiful girl that showed up. And I thought that was very profound. So when you don't show up, you don't even get a chance to win anything or to be a part of anything. So I think I'll just really encourage everyone, riding on Aki Alabi's point, always, always, always put your best foot forward and always show up. So now I'm back to Luther. In your opinion, what is the most common mistake young entrepreneurs make when pitching, and how can they avoid it?
Well, from my experience, I think, and number of people I've spoken to or been to judge pitches and all that, I think a lot of young people focus more on the product, especially if it's tech related. They can tell you what the product can do, what the product does, how cool it is, and they keep on with that. And to be honest, that doesn't really win you anything. What matters, it's important to talk about the product, but you need to be able to link the product or the service that you do, with the consumer or with the market you are serving, so that you are able to kind of like start with the problem you are solving. You show why it matters, then you are able to clearly explain how the product or the service meets that real need. And the need, apart from being real, has to be a need people pay for, because a lot of people, sometimes just build things that are out of
hobbies,
out of touch to the ordinary Nigerian, or really doesn't matter. The thing doesn't solve my basic needs, or it doesn't solve a problem that I'm trying to get across. So I think that's one. And you shouldn't assume a lot of it. You should work from the problem, from the customer, the problem you're trying to solve. You should work back from there to the product that you have and link it together. That would be a better way to do a better pitch.
Great. Thank you so much, Luther. And for those that are just joining, Luther is the CEO of PricePally.com, and PricePally is one of the biggest e-commerce food platforms in Nigeria right now, with branches all over Nigeria, really. All right, thank you so much, Luther. So I'm back to Balikis. Did you have fears or doubts before pitching, and how did you build your confidence? Because I know that confidence is a big thing that people deal with right now. Just before you stand before a crowd, or better still, before you stand before knowledgeable people that will be judging the way you talk, the way you look, the way you speak, and then you could start to jitter or start to shake. But for you, how did you deal with your fears and doubts?
Okay, so I don't want to sound like an expert right now, because some people actually they're naturally gifted when it comes to pitching or when it comes to speaking in front of audience. Some people are naturally gifted, while some people struggle with it. And that's why you find some organizations that it is not the founder that is pitching, right? Because they have to bring in somebody that can build up that confidence to be able to pitch and tell the story of the company, right? So for me, it has been even before I venture into the agricultural space. So it came natural for me. Although just to add up a spice is that during the period of the Lagos Agrithon last year, I wasn't like my 100% health-wise, So one of the things that kept waking me up every morning whenever we have to go out, because every time we're like, I'm not like familiar with the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture, like so easily I can even navigate myself there, it wasn't so convenient for me. But I knew what I want to get out of it for my company. So I kept on showing up. And I think it is also applied to every other person that applied last year that did not win, but they were showing up, right? And I think that showing up also built confidence because I remember very well that before we were called in to pitch, everybody sits outside and then you start talking with people, you start networking with people, you start sharing thoughts with people. And I think that must have also helped a lot of people build their confidence. When you are like saying this about your company, by the time the person is also standing in front of the judges, they kind of remember the conversations that you've had a few minutes ago and how confident that person was. So I think that also must have helped a lot of people in terms of building their confidence. And people that were down, that was not so 100% energized. You see other people talking, oh, Baki's talking with Price Pally. I was saying hello to Aki Alabi. We're talking about how he wants to visit the farm. You see things that was gingering you to like, I really want to do this. So I think that environment before you, and that is the thing about paying attention. So you don't just go to a place and just assume that you know it 100% or you have it figured out. It's not possible. When you enter some spaces, you need to give yourself that time to understand the room, the people that are there, the information that is going all around, and how you can leverage it to give your pitch. And let me say this last thing. One of my tips when I'm pitching, I don't you can't see me having sleepless nights over a pitch. You can't see me. That is me. That might not be you. You might need to rehearse for like 1 month before you stand in front of those audience. But one of the things I also pick whenever I'm going inside a pitch room or an audience, whenever I'm speaking, is that I am able to leverage information that is around me to also add up to my pitch. So it might be something that just happened. It might be something that somebody said, or it might be something that I just see. Like, this is nice. Imagine me selling, okay, let me use this direct example that I used during one of my pitch in 2023. I was pitching, I was to pitch, and we had lunch before we pitched. And when it was time for me to pitch, as a pepper farmer, one of the strategy I used was, in this all, everybody has tasted pepper today, in one way or the other, either in the snacks or in the rice that we ate. So you can see the importance of my work as a pepper farmer in the food industry. That alone would catch the attention of people and like, oh yeah, true though, because we can't do without pepper and somebody needs to farm it, So you just need to study the environment. And sometimes all those things that you have rehearsed for months, for years, keep it in your pocket and use updated information that is around you. So just to say that not everybody is an expert in pitching, and not all the experts will always be ready to pitch, but you just need to understand the why behind what you're doing so that you can put your all into it. So it's not a rocket science. It's some people are like naturally born for it, and why some people need assistance for it. So if by now you're already thinking that hopefully your application pulls through, start understanding who you are. Can you pitch this yourself? Is this something that you can do? I remember during our pitching last year, a lot of people had their co-founders, their operations person beside them where they were co-pitching together. So it's not just only you talking. So you can also find somebody like that in your team that you can enter the room together to pitch your business so that it is not overwhelming on just you alone, right? And if you know that this is your business and you don't want to miss out on this over 100 million naira, don't be doing trust issue. Forget trust issue. Bring somebody on board that can support you in this journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Balikis. Just to reiterate, one of the key points that you said is, as founders, you don't have to be the person pitching. If you have someone else on your team that is a better orator, please let that person do the pitching. And again, don't go alone. Don't show up alone. It will look like, oh, maybe it's a one-man business or you are doing this alone. We also need to see that you are a team, and then you also know how to work with people, work as a team, right? So I'm moving on to Aki and Labi. How did you make sure your ideas stood out from others during the competition, considering the fact that it is not the traditional type of agribusiness that we are used to? So just before you answer that question, I'd like to tell everyone that you are one of the, should we call them pioneers of what we call now agri-media, right? So we have people in the agri space that just maybe take photos or what have you, but Aki Alabi is one of the people that has come to tell us that it is important for us to document our journey as a people in the agri space, and you see that with most of the work that he's doing. So Aki Alabi, please just answer the question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Fumi. All right. So initially, right, for us, we felt that, look, we're the only one that, because I have an exceptional team around the agri media platform. I have an amazing team that work with me, and I must give kudos to one of the things Bilkis said. For my team, for example, I have folks, when we went to pitch, I remember on that day, one actually prepared the slide. That was Isaac. Destiny was the one that was, kind of strategically engineering the entire process, while Dolapo was one that actually did the entire pitching because she has so much confidence. So I was at the back end trying to just coordinate, and that was what we did, and we had an amazing pitch. So for the kind of work we do, which is quite unique in the ecosystem, and I say this a lot, the value chain is very big, like is super big, and you must find a niche that suits your passion, find a niche that adds value to other value chain, and find a niche that that you're more comfortable in. I've been in industry for the past 20 years. I've touched a bit of everything from technology to thorough farm production. I've been in the north for over 10 years doing rice, and also at that side again, I believe that we're not telling the stories of our farmers a lot, and that was a big gap in the ecosystem. So we now dedicated ourselves to say, look, it's high time we give a voice, or let's say finding stories, giving proper stories for our farmers from any of the value chain. So when we applied, we're kind of skeptical and say, okay, we're kind of unique now for us, but let's give it a shot. So we gave it a shot, and thank God, we're super grateful that it came out well. So for what we do, and I said it a lot, whatever value chain that you are putting in for, have that full confidence that you are adding value to the entire ecosystem, either in terms of crop production, either from livestock production, either aggregating, processing, logistics, whatever value chain it is that is quite unique to you, apply. you never can tell where the big miracle or the big win is coming out from. And for us being in the agri-media space for so many years, we felt that, look, it was an opportunity for us again to expand, in what we're doing. And I was super glad that the fund came in and we used it for something quite exceptional that very soon you're going to see it, something transformative that has never been done before. And we're super glad that, yes, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lagos State, stood beside us for this funding. And we're super glad that it came at the right time for us to tell proper stories of farmers, the value chain, food systems in Lagos, and also players around the entire ecosystem, bringing what Belikis is doing, bringing what Luther is doing at Price Pally, people like Tracy from around Yam, Fisherwoman, the entire, actors around the entire ecosystem, bringing them together and tell a proper story around agriculture. And that is what has given us a get to go over the years. And that was what encouraged us more to be part of Agrithon 1.0. And we're super glad it came out successful for us. So I'll say this, that look, whatever value chain you find yourself within the ecosystem, it is very big. Make sure that you are putting in your best. And also, most importantly, is that when you start pitching, ensure that you are quite concise and you are direct at what value you are bringing on the table. Which of the niche are you adding value on? And also ensure that you are able to communicate effectively your financials, the capacity you're bringing on the table, your team, how many teams you have, is 1 or 2 or 3, and also how what you're doing is helping to transform Lagos State food system at this point in time. So I always say that, and that was what gave us that courage and that get to go, and also help us put our pitches together, when we did ours. And that was just it for us. I was super grateful to Lagos State for giving us the opportunity as one of the, first pioneers of agri media in Nigeria today to be part of Agrithon 1.0. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aki Alabi. We're so proud of what you're doing. And so I'm back to Luther of Price Pally. In your view, how can early stage entrepreneurs effectively demonstrate scalability in their pitch?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Scalability is like a call for many investors. I mean, for any investors, it's how you tell how big, the business can be. So for you to be able to really communicate that across, first there will be need for you to understand what you call your unit economics. So for those who might not know what that means, unit economics is bringing down all your numbers to the barest number, which is how much it costs me to, number one, if I'm a producer, how much does it cost me to, produce one product? Like, what's the total cost to produce one product? How much does it cost me to move this one product to certain location? And how much can I pay for that? I mean, can I charge for that product? What will be my profit on that? So if you're able to get to those numbers, then you can convey how big the business could be. Let's say, for instance, whatever you sell, for instance, you are able to make 100 naira on it. Sorry, someone else should mute.
Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. So I was talking about, the unit economics. You need to know your numbers as to, what it costs you to produce one thing and what amount of profit you make on that one product. Then you can now say how much of those products you can sell, how much you can sell in Lagos, for instance. If you move it to Abuja, you can sell so amount there and all that. So that's how you basically paint a picture of scalability. Although other things are involved in how possible you can scale the product, depending on where you are, I mean, the product or service you are doing, but that's the basics. Then for you to even prove scalability, you also need to, for what you have already, you want to also tell us, tell an investor, how many customers you've had, how many are coming back, how many are referring you, how can the business grow? How can more people hear about it? How would you show, you want to show how important the business is to the customers that you are, how important you are to the customers that you have, because that's the only time an investor can say, okay, this will continue. That this is something that is consistent, and that speaks to scalability as well. Then you also would want to talk about how your business would work in this city, how it's working currently, and now you could probably do it in other cities as well, or in other geographies that would, or even in other sectors that would also, get you more customers and more money and all of that. Then for you to scale, generally, most times, I mean, if not 100% of the time, you need systems, right? For you to be able to grow from 100 orders a day to 1,000 orders a day, you would need more people, you would need more systems, you would need technology, you would, things that would support that growth. You need to be able to clarify it. You can't, when you're talking about scalability, you can't be referring to your hustle, like what you are doing at the initial stage that you have to do yourself and all of those things. That's good to state your start, but how do you intend to, multiply that hustle, so to speak? And it's usually through the systems that you build, the technology that you would employ, the number of people you bring to solve a particular thing, trainings, things like that. So I think those are the core things for me when you want to speak to scalability of any business. Thank you.
Wow, that was very profound. Thank you so much, Luther. So for everyone, if you're able to catch Luther after this, grab him, hold him, hug him. He's a grant guru, right? So I'm back to Balikis, Albanero Pepper. So I'd really also just like to say that Balikis blew our minds last year, right? And everything she's saying right now is the truth, right? About storytelling. She did awesome with her pitching. Right. So Balikis, I'm back to you now. Since winning the Lagos Agrithon, what key progress have you made in your business, and how did that funding or mentorship contribute or help you?
Yes, thank you so much for me. I think when we hear the saying that you can't run the show alone, very true. For a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of vegetable farmers in Southwest Nigeria. There are a lot of vegetable farmers in Lagos State, right? And I'm sure there were a lot of them who applied for the Agrithon last year. But, growing public farms, bless God, we're exceptional, we're selected, we won and whatnot. And we took care of every part of the journey, every part of the phases, from applying to the waiting period of we're thinking in our head, oh my God, there are thousands of people that will definitely apply for this thing. Okay, let's see how it comes out, right? We're selected, we went for pitching, all of the journey it was the acceleration program, the mentorship was very, very important. But I think one of the things that stood out for us personally for me, was when we were pitching. When you enter a room full of government officials, individual investors, and you're like, oh wow.
Private.
Normally we pitch to people outside of the country. You're like, no, not a lot of people will believe in your dream in the country, just like what Akelabi was saying, right? But you entered and you see, the commissioner was committed, seated there, listening to all of our pitching throughout the day. Every staff member of the Ministry of Agri were there, LSCTF, everybody was there. And that alone showed that people really care, right? And we made sure that we did not jeopardize the opportunity. So getting the funding helped us to, transition some certain things at the farm, and beyond just, I think for me, it's not really about the funding, really. I think it's about the community. Because if we did not win the Agrithon last year, we would not be part of the Lagos Agrinnovation Club. And that club is the spice. So if you are thinking of applying, just forget about the money. Just be thinking about the Lagos Agrinnovation Club, because what the club would give you is going to be worth more than the money. But you need to be able to pass through that stage to be able to be part of the club. So this year we were selected as one of the top 3 businesses to exhibit at the sorry, can you Agro Food Fair at Landmark. And it was a 3 days packed alongside Fauziya Oni and Lekki Mills. And everybody that was coming to our stand, they were like, who are these 3 people? Like, we're just so different from every other person. And we're like, oh, we're part of the Lagos Agrinnovation Club. I mean, if not for the club, we wouldn't have been able to afford to exhibit at this global event. And that is the beauty of being part of the Lagos Agrinnovation Club. Forget about the money again. Don't think about that money. So the club has given us the opportunity. I mean, from that event, we've been able to see potential partners who want us to come and be bringing our produce to their stores. I mean, I'm not going to mention brand name because they have stores everywhere in Lagos State, and they want us to see how Green Republic Farm can be bringing fresh vegetables to all of their stores to sell to their customers. If I do not win Lagos Agrithon, I'm not sure. I mean, it might happen, right? But probably I will be the one running after them, right? But they saw the potential. Oh, yeah. Same with Fauziya Oni. Fauziya sold out all of our honey. Myself and Tracy were even like, Fauziya, you have to take us out because this is money. Same with Lekki Mills. They sold out all of the chips. Same with us. We sold out all of our tomatoes and bell peppers. So that is the beauty of being, walking through the process and being part of the club. So there's also another thing. You have to be active member of the club. You don't just want to be part of the club and people don't even remember that you're part of the club, right? So for us, I don't want to talk from a point of bias, but trust me, the Lagos Agrinnovation Club has been the sustainable beauty of us winning the Lagos Agrithon. Because without it, it won't be easy for us to connect with a lot of people, a lot of industry. I mean, imagine now, I mean, because we are probably small businesses and we're looking for ways to put our product on Price Pally. I don't need to give myself a headache. It's just a DM from our WhatsApp group. I'll just send it there. But normally, you'll be thinking, how can you get access to the founder of Price Pally? Oh, I want to do something with the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture. I'm thinking of how to go about it. Oh, do you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody? All of this access is there. And luckily for us, we have been blessed with an accessible commissioner that morning, night, evening, midnight, anytime, any day, she's there. And I think to cap it up, the tours that we have exposing businesses to other businesses is also one of the beauty of what we have been able to drive from applying to we didn't even know that it was this full package. We just thought that it's to collect money and go. But they said, no, we don't want you to go. We want you to be part of a community. And being a part of that community has been so much blessing to Green Republic Farms. And we'll continue to say it anywhere. Give it a try. You might not get it this year. I know a lot of people that we applied together last year. My sisters and brother, they have applied again this year because they have to, I even told them they have to be part of it. It's not just about the money, honestly, because the potential that the Lagos Agrinnovation Club would give you is beyond just the money. So be prepared to be a part of a community that care, a part of a community that supports your business and your growth. And for me, I don't know if I've said too much, but I just needed to express myself.
Actually said a lot. So thank you so much. So I'm going to quickly move on to Jacob Abiodun, that's Coconoto. So Jacob, tell us, during the Lagos Agrithon 2024, what was your most memorable experience and what made it stand out for you?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear me, please?
clearly.
All right. Thank you so much, Auntie Fumi. And I apologize for stepping out. So the Lagos Agrithon was really amazing for me. And I will tell you that the validation we got is one of the big things I took till date in my business, because we just commenced our cocoa peat production at that time. And I keep saying it anytime, any day, that the big validation we got is what has made us keep going till date, right? We had not made any sales when we got there, but the impression we got and the remark we got from the judges, the feedback, had to keep us going. And at that time, we didn't even have a sticker. We didn't have something that to use to brand it. But the judges kept on saying, you guys are doing something that people are really in need of, and you are promoting climate smart technology for the soilless farming. And that gave us that encouragement and the validation that, oh, we are doing something new and something right. Right. So that alone. And another thing was being that the coconut value chain, of course, is a new space, right? And it was something nobody could ever have thought that somebody will come up with. And we just built our machines then. The judges also gave us credit and also gave us advice on how we can do better. I think they gave us access, they gave us access to Lascoda. That's the Coconut Development Agency in Lagos State, right? And those connections, we've not even known if we're going to win, but the fact that they had seen a brighter future in our
That you're part of
business,
it.
so that gave us that joy, and that gave us the big validations that we need, that we're doing something right. And I think that's what I would also advise anybody doing something really great in the agro business who is applying for this Agrithon to put into consideration. Go with your A game and go with your best game, and don't just go with the best game again. Be ready to accept feedback.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Okay, so just before I go on with the questions, if you have any questions, please just raise. I know that you can show with a raise of hand, and then I'll see you, and then I'll call you. If you have any questions for any of the panelists, just show me a raise of hand so that I would call on you before I go on with the last set of questions for each of them. Okay, so Moshood, I see you. Please unmute and speak.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm so grateful. My question is actually this is the first time I'll have experience in pitching for competition this way. And I want to ask like how many minutes is it going to allow for pitching to take place? And then what does it look like? I know you are going to present slides and it's going to be a robust stuff. So, like, how many minutes is going to be allowed at probably at the first stage? We submitted a pitch that is not too complex. So, we don't know if what we have submitted could give us a chance. Probably we've made a mistake. We want to know if we can re-register for a better, opportunity.
I hear
That's
you.
the first stage.
Okay, I hear you, Moshood.
Hello?
I hear you, Moshood. Okay, so I'll go ahead and answer your question. So in putting forward a great pitch, it starts from the very first application. That's the very first the application that you put in. Now, at the end of this webinar, I would also just maybe run us through briefly if we still have that time on how you can submit your pitch. And when you click submit, please ensure that you receive a pop-up message that shows your application is successful. For anyone on this call, if you submitted and you did not receive that pop-up message, please reapply and ensure that you receive that pop-up message, or you use the QR code on one of the flyers. I'm sure one of my team members will post that flyer on the chat group now, or you could just go to any of our social media platforms. You see that flyer there. And then in submitting, you are required to do a 12-page PDF document showing us what your business is about briefly, and please also ensure that your business is CAC registered and that you have LASRA. LASRA is the Lagos State residential number that just shows us that you either live in Lagos State or your business directly impacts Lagos markets. LASRA is very easy. Please just go on Google and then check where you can register for LASRA. It takes less than 30 minutes. And there's usually no queues, right? Just go register, get your LASRA number. That's the first step of the screening. The second step of the screening is for those that make it through the first step, we would send you an email telling you to record a 3-minute pitch, video pitch, and send that in, where we then have a set of jurors that sit down and watch your pitch. And this set of jurors would select the best set of pitches that will then make it to the next pitch. The third stage really is where you are invited to come physically pitch. And at this point, I think it's important to mention that when you're invited to come to pitch physically, please come with your products, because you could say so much English and, you could be politically correct or what have you, but show us what you have done. Come with proof, right? And then at that pitch session, the physical pitch session, you have the Ministry of Agriculture represented, you have Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSCTF represented, and also you would have external private jurors represented there as well. If you make it through that session, then you would move on to what we call the mentorship hub. Here, you'll be matched with a mentor, and this is one of the real big spice of it. So even if you don't make it out to be a winner or something, the fact that you're matched with a mentor in the food system space is one of the big wins, really. And then here, the mentor also just helps you fine-tune your business idea and help you position your pitch. And then you come for the last or the grand finale, which is the final pitch session. So I think I've been able to answer your question, Moshood. I see another hand here. It says Zoom user. Please unmute and speak. There's a hand that says Zoom. Your name is Zoom user. Okay, please unmute because we can't hear you. Okay, so I also see a few questions in the chat box. Would the recording be available? Yes, after this session, we would upload the recording onto YouTube, and then we'll make that link available to everyone. And so again, we've seen a lot of people ask, do I need to know anyone? You see, the panelists are here. You can ask them, did any of you know anyone, right? Did you need to pay anybody anything or anything at all? In one word, I would like all the panelists to just talk about knowing someone in the government space, or just, did you know anybody before you put your best foot forward and before you won the grant last year?
Fumi, pardon me to just answer that, if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
And that's one thing unique about Lagos State Bishop of Agriculture. Like I tell people, and I'm so super proud of this, that look, you don't need to know anybody. You don't have to know anybody. You don't have to be a friend of anybody. You don't have to get a letter from anybody. It's so easy that once you are super sure of the value, in capital letter, I'm saying again, of the value you are bringing on the table to add to the food systems of Lagos, trust me, the sky is just the beginning for you. You would, I don't think Beleki said, you meet a lot of people, you would so be assured that, look, people are doing amazing stuff in Lagos that you get connected with in terms of even a partnership, collaboration, funding-wise. You'll be super shocked. You don't have to know anybody. Just have value. Have value. And boom, the sky is not your limit, it's your beginning. Trust
Great.
me.
Thank you so much. I think Luther also wants to say something.
Yeah, so I just, picking back on how Akin explained it, I also would just advise that people should get off that mentality. Yeah, I mean, there's a reality of it, but it's sometimes when I hear it, I'm pissed off because it's more like you are lazy. Like nothing stops you from trying. Like if you try, whatever happens, happens. The difference between you and somebody who has taken advantage of anything is try. And you can try multiple things. And especially in Nigeria, you have to try multiple things. So even if it's not Lagos State, any other thing that opportunity that comes your way, first try. It's lazy for me. I mean, I think it's an excuse for lazy people to say they will give to people that they know. You've not tried. You are assuming, and that's the level of ignorance. That's the way I see it. So, but I mean, we didn't know anybody. We that's the word. It wasn't like we're favorites of anybody or anything. It was because we brought value, like Akin said. So work on your value that you have and present it at any opportunity whatsoever. Thank you.
Sorry for me, just so
Equality
to add a female voice to that advocacy. So what Luther said, I think the first thing first is just ignore the thought from your mind as you're applying for this thing. You don't even need to know me. You don't need to know Luther. You don't need to know Aki. You don't even need to know anybody. You don't even DM for me after this meeting. Don't start to be stalking her because she will not answer you because you are trying to know her. You don't need to know people. We didn't know anybody. Like a lot of people traveled down from wherever to Lagos to come and pitch. They didn't know anybody. No, I'm going to tell you as a matter of fact, the first time we went for our first pitching was the first time I went to Ministry of Agric, and I've been to the secretariat several times because you just think about this thing sometimes you're like, oh, I'm thinking we should do this project, oh, with the Ministry of Agric. Say, don't worry, we don't know anybody, just ignore it, and then something that will take you there comes. It will take you there and you have to go there. You don't need to know anybody. People will show you the way. When you get to the gate, let them direct you to the Ministry of Agric. They will tell you where it is. You don't need to call me to ask me. It's a thing of, I think it's a fear of a government initiative also that is there, right? Where sometimes people assume that if you don't have people in government, any government initiative, you cannot benefit from. This is not that government initiative. This is a Lagos State Ministry of Agric and Food Systems initiative that is passionate about food system. They just want to feed Lagos. See, forget that. If you can solve the problem, just come and apply. Don't have anything at the back of your mind. If you know that you can solve this hunger problem we are facing in Lagos, just apply. Simple. You don't need to know anybody. So zero it from your mind, my dear. It's not a
Thank you, Barry.
sorry.
I think Jacob also wants to speak to this
Okay.
question.
So yesterday I was still discussing this with somebody, and I'm like, it's like you don't know the Commissioner of Agriculture in Lagos State. Do you think she's ready for you to start calling people up and down? All you just need is, so it all boils down to, what are you doing? What are you doing? What problem are you solving? Can you convince people that your solution is sustainable? Can you convince people that you have a market for this solution in Lagos State and flying to other states in the country, right? Can you convince? The moment you have those things, I don't think you need to be bothering your mind about calling or going up and down or going to meet anybody, because this opportunity is an opportunity that will change your business entirely. Aside the fact that the money is there, it gives you a large access to a pool of network that will give you more access to another network that can bless your business. In our last meetup, maybe I just share a testimony of somebody coming to say that she made a bigger sale of the year just because of the access she got from the Agrinnovation Club. I don't want to say too much, but to be honest, that alone was a very good testimony that every one of us shared into, and I'm sure that some other people have also benefited from it. So what are you doing? Are you doing something that meets the criteria for and this will also lead me to say, the last guy asked a question about being a beginner in building a pitch deck, right? Be very clear on what you are what you are giving out. I'm sure that my bosses have said a lot. Mr. Luther is here. He's a great guy with a whole lot of experience when it comes to pitching. Aki Alabi is also here, the boss in the game also, and Baliki is great guys. So my young self will just add a little bit to what they have said. When it comes to pitching as a beginner, right, it is not you coming to give complexity. It is you coming to give simplicity, give clarity. Nobody wants you to come and bamboozle them with grammar. Nobody wants to hear your engineering terminology. All they want to hear is, are you addressing the cry, the pain of people? And is there a market that is feeling that pain? If they are, then your solution will scale. So that is what they want to hear from you at the Agrinnovation. And they are not coming. I know that everybody does the same. Everybody can come with similar businesses. But what makes you unique in simple terms, right? As simple as it is to eat biscuits. When you are eating meat, it's still the same process, but there are some meat that are tough and there are some meat that are light. But if you take a biscuit at a very simple cut, you can chew your thing and go. That is the same way it is for every business. I am doing the same business as every other person, but what distinguishes me from this person that makes it simple for my market? And explain to them, they are ready to hear you out.
Thank
They
you,
are ready
Jacob.
so thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, you really just said it all. So I see some hands up. Whales and dolphins, please unmute your mic.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I must say that this is an eye-opener, first off, because when I started working on my pitch, Yellowfish could not rest. Myself, I could not rest. It took me 3 days to work on that stuff, and that was one of the most stressful parts of my life this year. But then, where my question is coming in, please, during the submission, I don't think I got the notification you said, and you were trying to talk about something on barcode. I don't quite get that, the barcode scanning. Maybe you could go over that again. That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, whales and dolphins. So first off, I'm happy that it is the submitting your pitch is one of the things that has stretched you this year. The comfort from that really is you are now ready to grow, right? So you've been stretched and ready for growth. So please log on again to the website and reapply. Ensure that you receive the application successful. Otherwise, we also created an alternative link for those that have had challenges with submitting on the website. We would all just share that. Fatima would share that, or Cecilia will share that in the chat box now. That's the flyer. Or you please go on to any of our social media platforms, Instagram, you would see the how to apply infographics. Ayuba Kamol, I see your hand. Please unmute.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for having me. I just have two questions. Number one, I'm a farmer, but the challenge I have is that Lagos State, you don't really have much land. So, my farm is located at Kwara. So, and I want to ask, hope that one will not limit my participation in Lagos. I reside in Lagos. I live in Lagos.
Oh, okay.
Where our farm is in Kwara.
I hear you, Ayuba. So if you reside in Lagos and the produce from your farm in Kwara directly impacts the Lagos market, you have a great chance. So Balikis here resides in Lagos. However, our farm is in Ogun State. So she's a great example. The only thing that might maybe hinder you is if you don't put in a great pitch. So ensure that you put in a great pitch and tell us how. Sorry?
That leads to my second question.
Okay.
That leads to my question. So please, is there a way that I have a sample of the that we can use
please
that
speak
one?
out clearly. We can't hear you.
I say, is there a way we can have a sample of a winning pitch of last year so we can use that one to guide our home?
Sorry, let me help. Let me come in. Hi, Ayuba. So I think first of all, yes, my farm where my farm is located is connected to Lagos, Ogun, and Ibadan. Like I'm in the central location. I'm on the express road, right? but I live here in Lagos, and all of my proceeds comes to Lagos. It's only the leftovers that we distribute across other southwestern states. That's one. So you have an advantage. And it's not just about feeding Lagos. It's also about the innovation that you are driving in your farm. So if you have an innovation, it's also a key thing. As for me, as said, your pitch needs to stand out. As long as you can say that, because there will be evidence based to be sure that your produce from Kwara is feeding Lagos. You cannot just say it is. There would have to be evidence. As regard having access to pitch, I don't think that would be ideal. I think the ideal thing is this particular session that we have had is worth more than having access to any of our pitches. Because I believe that Luther has touched on finance, he has touched on what investors need to see in your pitch. I have emphasized on storytelling and track record. Aki Alabi has emphasized on your why, understanding why you want to do this. And I'm sure that Jacob has also mentioned things around why it is important for you to have the reason why you're applying for this, what you want to use your money for. I mean, Jacob's just said it now that they've not really made sales before they applied, but now people are literally chasing them everywhere. So I think all of these things, probably after this Zoom session, is advisable that everybody go back to watch the Zoom session again on YouTube and be penning down things one after the other. And aside from that, I'm going to share a very quick tip in case you have not been following our page. If you go to the Lagos Agrinnovation page, a yesterday post was about 4 things
Find a
that is
winning pitch.
expected in your pitch or something.
Mhm.
So if you can go to our Instagram page, the link has been posted. You would see all of the things that you need to have in your pitch deck, and it would help you. And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you,
very much.
Balikis. I see Moshood's hand up again. Please unmute.
Okay, thank you very much once again. Yeah, I want to confirm if receiving a message that the application has been received, is there a sign that you're good to go? Because I think I saw a message on my email that the application has been received.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
once we have received your application at the end, this portal closes on the 27th of June, which is next week, Friday. Then we will start the screening, first level screening. And once that is completed, we would then communicate with everyone that has scaled through if they made it to the next level. Thank you. So I see Molebi of Africa. Please unmute.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for this opportunity to be part of the this learning process. What I wanted to ask is just talk about it now. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you. I see iPhone user. Please unmute. Okay.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Okay, I see
I think
Flo.
that's me. Flo. Okay. Can I talk now?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fumi. Thank you, our host. And to all the speakers, I really appreciate. You have answered most of my questions anyway. Then I want to ask if civil servants with genuine business idea can apply. Even though I've applied and I've seen that you have replied me. So let's be straight.
Okay.
Apply.
Thank you very much, Folari. I believe there will be an internal memo for civil servants. But yes, it's open for civil servants to apply. Again, it's a put your best foot forward, like they say. It's open. So yes, you can apply.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So because the time is fast spent, I'll do a quick recap, and I really must say thank you to our panelists. For those of us that joined in quite late, one thing though with the Lagos Agrinnovation Club, I know a lot of people must have felt, oh, African time. We don't do African time here. So just in case you see any of our posts any other time, just know that we don't do African time here. So yes, we will put up this post on YouTube and we can share. We would also share the link with everyone. So I'll do a quick recap in bullet points what our panelists have said today, right? So storytelling is important in putting together your pitch and when you're pitching in front of jurors and mentors. Clarity on how you make money, clarity on how your business is positioned, what problem you're solving exactly, right? And then you also want to describe the urgency of the problem, demonstrate what you know, right? It's not enough for you to wink in the dark. Tell us what you know in clear terms. And it's important that you start building your digital footprint. So you don't have to wait till you win something big or till you're a part of something. Start where you are, document your process, document your business, put yourself out there. Nobody would know you if you're not out there. So put yourself out there and document your process for us to see. Show up with your product. Don't just show up with yourself. I mean, show up with your product if you're actually creating or producing something, and show up with one team member, at least one team member. That also just shows that you're trying to build some sort of structure within your business. And then show the unit cost of your product, because you will be asked on spot questions like, what's the cost of one product, unit cost, how much would it cost you to go to market, so you be knowledgeable about your business, know everything nitty-gritty about your business, be knowledgeable, because that's also what the judges want to see, that you have great knowledge of the business that you claim that you operate. And then we also want to see system and structure that you have put in place. Now, when you say system and structure, it's not some multinational, some really big thing. It's that simple structure that you have put in place. You have a CEO, you have a COO, you have a logistics person. What's that structure that you have put in place? And then documentation is key as well. At some point, we would ask you to show up with your CAC document. We would ask you to show up with your 6-month bank statements, because we also want to see track record. You don't come give us bamboozle to say that, oh, you've sold 10-ton trucks. Meanwhile, in your account statements, we're only seeing 50 naira, 100 naira transfers. So where and who did you make the sales to? Really just proof for proof, right? Not because you take it all away. Then more importantly, nuggets: speak out, speak up, show up, and put your best foot forward. I'll say that again: speak out, speak up, show up, and always put your best foot forward. So how to apply? You'd please log on to www.lagosagrinnovation.com, and then you'd see registration. Click on Lagos Agrithon. Even from the home page, there'll be a pop-up, right? Where just click on the pop-up and it takes you to the form. Fill the form with accurate information. Please take your time so you don't make any mistakes. Ensure that you upload your pitch. Please don't upload pictures, just upload a PDF. Yeah, you can embed pictures in your PDF documents, that's fine, but upload a 12-page PDF document that tells us about your business. And you'd see a pop-up message that says, and an email that says your application has been successfully received. And once you do that, you're good to go on stage 1, and then you would await our email to see if you make it to stage 2. I'd like to call one person, although she's not on our panel list. Her name is Dehydrator. The name of her business rather is Dehydrator Hub. She was one of the winners last year. Dehydrator Hub, are you there?
Good afternoon, ma'am, and
Okay,
everyone.
great.
Yes,
So
I am.
I'd just like you to speak to, in 2 minutes, what was your
Okay.
experience like last year? What was in terms of confidence, how did you put together a pitch? And what, in your opinion, do you think sold your business out to the judges? And what have you used the funds for? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. So I mean, the experience was really great in the sense that we had a session where we had like trainings, and it helped us to look at our business again and how we wanted to scale. And the pitch deck was based on the impact that we're making as a business. So we had to look at impact. We had to look at how we're aligning with the SDGs. So for us, it was zero hunger, post-harvest loss reduction, and also creating job opportunities. And the fund went to us getting a much bigger dehydrator and a much sustainable dehydrator, in the sense that, that dehydrator, when it's working, it releases the moisture. Like, you can actually see the water and carry it like water when the product is actually dried. So, and it helped us to reduce our electricity costs, because I mean, drying can take 2 days depending on what it is that you're drying. So that machine really helped us to scale better and helped us to look at our business plan. And I mean, we have also gone through different other applications since then, and I think that we are making more impact. So impact is like the most important thing for us. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
And I would say congratulations in advance to you all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I see a few questions in the chat box. So the age range is 18 to 40. If you're above 40, sorry. But the age range is 18 to 40. Can I see any other question? The link, okay, so the link has been posted in the chat box, is www.lagosagrinnovation.com. And please, you can also check us out on Instagram. On Instagram, we are lagos.agrinnovation. We have all the information there: YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok. So very quickly, I would like to share my screen just to show you the application process. I hope we all can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So logging on to the website,
Yes.
which is www.lagosagrinnovation.com. This is the landing page. This is the home page. And right now it is 7 days and 11 hours more to close. So I click on this pop-up flyer, or you can just click on registration here. This registration will bring you to Lagos Agrithon. So you can click on Lagos Agrithon here. So this is a registration page that says register now. You can scroll to your right. You see the eligibility criteria and the focus areas. Just to be sure that your business, just like Baliki said earlier, is your business actually solving a food systems problem? That's what we want to know. And then right here, we have view last year's winners. So we had 26 beneficiaries last year. So here you can click on it at your leisure and just view all the winners from last year. And right there, you'd also see the certified club members listing there as well. So back to the form. So your first name, you input your first name here, you input your last name, your gender, your date of birth, email address, phone number, company name, company address. It's very straightforward. CSC, your LASTRA ID, area of expertise, your staff size, because we also have to be sure that you are impacting unemployment, project or business idea title, and tell us briefly what your business is about. That describe your business, and then what problem does your idea solve? Is your a business idea in ideation, prototype, early stage, or what stage is it? And then you upload your pitch deck and click submit. When you click submit, you get the prompt, right? So I think that's, I'll just stop sharing now. Yes, so that's that's it about the pitch. So I think, do I still see one? And BMO Farms, I see your hand. So we'll just take one or two questions and then we'll call it a day. BMO, please unmute. Okay, we can't hear you in case you're trying to speak. I see Elizabeth Otomewo. Please unmute, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for the webinar. Okay, so I'm asking that for instance, I did not get to register for the webinar, but somebody sent me a link to join this class. So how do I get the recording? Since you are going to share the recording, because I did not register for the webinar, but I got a link to join the webinar.
Okay, so shortly we would share on YouTube by today we should share on YouTube, and once we have uploaded on YouTube, our YouTube handle is Lagos Agrinnovation. So please, Lagos Agrinnovation Club. Excuse me. That's our YouTube handle, Lagos Agrinnovation Club. Please be on the lookout. We would also just share that across all our social media handles, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Once we've uploaded, we will definitely share that.
Okay, thank you. So,
okay.
My second, though they've mentioned it, Fatima tried to answer, but I'm asking, how we that are above 40, how do we ever move on to even showcase our idea, talk about what we do? Some people start businesses late. KFC, for instance, started business even at over 60 or so. So for such, we think that there's nothing for us. We keep on seeing age limit of 18 to 40, 18 to 40. It's actually discouraging, you know.
Okay. So for within the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems, we have other programs as well that is spread across different age limits. Agrinnovation is just one of the programs, but the Agrinnovation Club really is targeted at 18 to 40. However, we would also share Fatima, please, can you just get Mrs. Elizabeth's details so that we can share with you other programs within the ministry as well. Thank you very much. BMO, I saw you say that your was ma'am?
How do I send it to her? Is she going to contact me? Fatima, is she going to contact me to get my details, or how do I send it to her?
Oh, yes, please. Fatima would definitely. Yes. Thank you.
On this call?
Okay, or better still, you know what? Please, can you send an email to agrinnovationclub@gmail.com? Yes, agrinnovationclub@gmail.com.
Okay, I hope that's not a way to push me out, sir.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. agrinnovationclub@gmail.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Okay, I think, is there any other? And so I think that's we've answered all the questions. Thank you all once again. I would also just like to express our gratitude to the convener and the brains behind the Lagos Agrinnovation Club, which is the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems, Ms. Abisola Olusoya, the Special Advisor to the Governor, Dr. Olurotimi Fashola, this Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Emmanuel Audu, all directors and management and staff of the ministry would like to extend many thanks for this great opportunity. And of course, all our Agrinnovation Club members, our partners last year, our partners this year, our mentors, our jurors, and then the Agrinnovation team members, Raphael, Fatima, Aisha, Cecilia, Peter, Adeolu, Precious, you guys are the MVPs. And most importantly, today, to our panelists, Aki Alabi, the founder of Corporate farmers, Luther Lawanyi, CEO, Price Pali, Baliki Salaudin, Team Lead, Green Republic Farms, and Jacob Abiodun, CEO, Kokonoto. Thank you all very much for joining and spending some time with us. We hope to maybe do this again sometime. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
All right. You.
Goodbye. Thank you.